In the beginning. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this video if you want more content like this. And leave a comment. Hey man, stay man. Welcome back to another Act Like You Know podcast episode. We got me and Gliz just here today. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say certain people are ducking the pod, but that's what it feels like. Like it's Wednesday. We try to record Monday. We were gonna record Sunday night, but we decided to let some people deal with their emotions after a tough night in the NFL. Then we tried to record Tuesday, and it just people's times for some reason wasn't matching up. People
it must have been busy, bro. Must have been busy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not here to judge on what people do throughout, their days, but just saying now, all of a sudden, it just seemed like people couldn't make time for a pod. Anyways, Gliz, how was your day and how was your weekend?
Well, let's start with the weekend. I had a great weekend. Birthday weekend. Absolutely fantastic weekend. Shout out to my AKT boys for showing me a great weekend. Started off the day well. I'm just ready to pod, man. I'm ready to talk about some things, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Obviously, we was out with you. Had a great weekend. Got two. I think there were two good football games. Just contrasting styles. Yeah, it was a good weekend. Having a good week so far. Rent is due tomorrow, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Or today when this comes out, but it is what it is. And I feel like we got a good Super Bowl matchup, so we will see. All of my agendas hit. That's all I want to say. All of my agendas hit. So, anyways, we're gonna get into the topic at hand here. The Kansas City Chiefs are back in the Super Bowl for the fourth time in the last 5 years. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and the crew going back for their third Super Bowl. They're trying to win their third Super Bowl and repeat. So and they beat the Baltimore Ravens, who only scored one touchdown. The score was 17-10, and the Chiefs didn't even have to score in the second half. So you're watching the game, man. Tell me what you think all around. I guess we should probably start with the winners. Let's talk about the winners first.
Talk about the winners? All right, well, it's documented. I chose the Ravens, but I feel like I was still right because I chose the Ravens out of like winner's fatigue for the Chiefs. I thought it was just the Ravens' time, like NFL script wise. The week before, I told you guys you never bet against Mahomes. I picked the Ravens, but I would never bet on the Ravens. Never bet against Mahomes. He's the greatest. But to be honest, they held him in check for the most part. Travis Kelce, rejuvenated, born again. Last time I checked, it was 11 targets, 11 catches. I don't know how much further it got past that. Chiefs did what the Chiefs do, man. Andy Reid, he's heading towards GOAT coach status. He's heading towards the Bill Belichick's of the world, in my opinion. So, not surprised, more disappointed for the other team. Yeah, this is what the Chiefs do, man. It's no more. You can't be surprised. There's not much to say. This is just what they do. This is the dynasty. This is the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. This is one of the greatest tight ends I've ever seen, and he just did it with the bottom 15 receiving core. So, hey, this. I'm not surprised, and this is just amazing to me at this point. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, man. Not much to really say. Mahomes, 30 of 39, 241 yards, and the tutty. I mean, it wasn't like Patrick Mahomes. Like with the first two drives, you were like, God damn, this nigga Patrick Mahomes is really unstoppable.
Yeah.
And him and Kelce. Yeah, man, there's not really much to say. It's starting to feel like very patriotish. Like they just win. They just find ways to win. They didn't even have to score in the second half. Patrick Mahomes, in all sense, became a game manager. Just don't fuck it up. So, but Patrick Mahomes, he just does what he has to do to win. And Pacheco, he ran well, 24 carries, 68 yards. He got 24 carries. Oh my God. And the tutty, Kelce, obviously amazing, 11 receptions, 11 targets. 116 yards and a touchdown, a tough touchdown, one-handed grab on the
Beautiful.
pylon against Kyle Hamilton, who had an amazing game. But tough touchdown. He had a lot of tough catches. People were like, I was in group chats and stuff. They were like, "Oh, they need to do this to Chelsea, or they need to hit him off the block." I'm like, "Are y'all seeing the type of catches this guy's making? Like contested catches, diving catches, like quick screens, and then he's running for 10 yards. Like it's like that. It's still he's gonna get the ball. He's unstoppable. Um, yeah, man, they're just impressive. The defense locked down, like
Lockdown.
locked down.
Chris Jones, worth every penny. Worth
Yo,
every penny.
they're gonna have to pay him for real this year. Like this year, I think it was on a 1 year contract. So like, I think they're gonna have to really.
He's going to be top 5 paid defensive end.
Someone else is gonna have to take the fall. L'Jarius Sneed, just them boys are nice. They were missing Willie Gay. Them DBs are nice.
And one thing I will say is, though it wasn't one of those Mahomes games like the crazy 500 yards, 5 touchdowns, it just seemed like every single time the Ravens needed a stop. And I'm not just talking fourth quarter, third quarter, just like he plays third downs, 3rd and 7, 2nd and 13. He just makes the throw, bro. Like it wasn't one of those crazy explosive games, but every single time the Ravens felt like, all right, if we get a stop right here, we're gonna go score, we're gonna get this thing. Mahomes and Kelsey, man. And then Pacheco running once again, he didn't have the craziest pop off the box score stat line, but it's timely runs, timely first downs, timely 3.5, 4 yard carries. Like them boys came to play, man. And I bring it all to Andy Reid, man. One of the GOATs now. I gotta respect him. But go ahead, man.
Yeah, they're inevitable. It's just unfortunate. None of the top guys can seem to beat him. Only one guy. But I said it last week. Only one guy is really matching this guy when it comes to the playoffs. And my boy Ryan Clark said it. There's only one guy that can slow his heartbeat down. Well, there's 2 guys, but one's retired. But like one guy that can really lock in and keep it real close and have you like, damn, who's gonna win this game? That's Joe Burrow. Unfortunately, he got hurt this year, so we didn't get to see him in the playoffs. Shit could be a lot even more different this playoffs if Joe Burrow was in there, but that's neither here or there. Joe Burrow's not here. We're here to talk about Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and now we're here to talk about the Baltimore Ravens. I know you had a lot to say. We've been texting back and forth. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna ask a simple question: was this a choke? I got a couple questions. Was this a choke by the Ravens altogether? What does this say about Lamar? And who should take most of the blame if you had a pie chart? Like, what percentage of the blame are you giving out to everybody?
Okay. In my honest opinion, this is a choke job. And I will explain why. A lot of people seem to keep blaming the offensive coordinator. He's part of the blame for your pie chart question. It's about 50% him, 45% Lamar, 15 Zay Flowers. Oh, well, 5% Zay Flowers. Lamar, the excuse I'm getting is they didn't run the ball enough. Besides Lamar's scrambles, I think it was 6 rushes. And I get that. But you cannot be a fan of Lamar Jackson and telling me all year he's this elite quarterback, he is the best quarterback or the second best quarterback, he's the MVP, he's the all-pro, he's the chosen one. And when they decide to put the ball in his hands in the biggest game of the year and he underperforms, you flip the script and tell me, oh, the ball shouldn't have been in his hand. They should have been running the whole game. Now, half of that is true. The O coordinator definitely should have ran the ball more. But y'all are telling me this is the guy. And when we rate other quarterbacks and judge other quarterbacks, and these are the type of games they have where the offensive coordinator is not running the ball, or the run is just getting stuffed and it's in the quarterback's hands. When these other top quarterbacks underperform, we're at their neck. And I will say the names: Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy, the game that he played bad, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. When these guys play bad because the ball is in their hands and they need to make plays, they're getting crucified. You can't. I don't hear a lot of people screaming the offensive coordinators' names or the running backs' names, or so I just can't give my boy Lamar that excuse. I do not dislike Lamar Jackson, not one bit. I might troll a little bit because I know Ravens fans, but I do not dislike Lamar Jackson. But that was the opportunity for the ball to be in his hands and for him to cement his legacy and go to the Super Bowl, correct? So, and I'm thinking from the point of view of a Cowboy fan, if this was Dak and Dak was having this MVP, like he's probably going to win MVP, and that's the game he had in the NFC Championship, dude, you choked. Like, okay, y'all didn't get Pollard the ball only 6 times, blah, blah, blah. Dak is my elite MVP quarterback, right? He should take us to the promised land, or at least lose in a more graceful way. Like the first couple drives, well, a couple of the first couple drives Lamar had, I was like, okay, Lamar's on one. Like he missed a couple throws, but the trick play and a couple scrambles, I'm like, he's on one. And then it's like after halftime, I don't know what happened. Like, because the Chiefs defense is good and all, but not 0 points in the second half of the AFC Championship good. So I think it was a choke job. He threw a pick into triple coverage with a drag route wide open. And that, to me, says he felt in his heart he wasn't doing enough. He had to make the big play. He felt like if I don't score on this drive, Patty and them are going to go score, and it's going to be tough. I felt like he was pressing the issue because he just didn't feel right. And that's not the trait of an elite quarterback. He's an elite playmaker. The elite quarterback thing, I'm still on the fences now because he still hasn't had his moment. Joe Burrow has had his moment. I want to say Josh Allen has had his moment, but he also can't get over the hump. So I'm not going to go that far, but a guy like Purdy just had his moment. Big moment, but we'll say that for later. Like, guys have their moment. Stafford a couple years ago had his moment. Lamar still hasn't had his moment. So I'm just not ready to say he's that guy, the chosen one. I feel like once again they choke, but I'm not going to, obviously, like I said, back to your pie chart question, it's not fully on Lamar. Zay Flowers, I don't know what Zay Flowers was doing in a couple of those plays because he was making splash plays, big time plays, but you get a taunting penalty that moves you back. Then on the same drive, he hits you, you fumble at the end zone. Like, man, I wanted the Ravens to win that game. I'm a Mahomes fan, but I really wanted the Ravens to win that game. And I just don't know. A friend of mine thinks they have a 4-year window for a championship. Teams don't have 4-year windows. The NFL does not work that way. This is maybe next year, but this was about the best shot they're going to get. So that's my take on it, man.
All right, man. If I had to do a pie chart, I'm just gonna keep it a bean here. Lamar is gonna get 70% of this blame. I'm gonna give about 30 to Todd Monken. Zay Flowers, you don't get no blame. Like Zay Flowers, like, all right. My thing with Zay Flowers is like he made all the splash plays. He has 100 yards. He has 115 yards, 5 catches. He was the only receiver really getting off. I mean, the taunting penalty, I don't want to use the rookie excuse because, like, you're at the end of the year, you're damn near like a second-year player. But like, I understand your hype. Do I think it should have been called a penalty? Yes, because like, if we're gonna let niggas fucking spin the ball at motherfuckers' heads and flex over them, be prepared when you come over that middle, your head getting taken off. So it's like either or. So I respect the taunt. I respect that they threw a flag there because the offense does get away with some stuff on the offensive side in NFL football. But when he, you know what I'm saying, when he throws it across the middle, Zay Flowers, he sees the end zone, he dives like for the touchdown. I can't get mad at a player trying to make a play. Like, defensive players get paid too. L'Jarius Sneed made a better play. Like, he was there at the right time. If L'Jarius Sneed was a yard later, it would have been a touchdown. So it's just like football is a game of inches, and that was just an unfortunate break for the Ravens. Just like last week when Mecole Hardman fumbled into the end zone, we could have basically put the game away for the Bills. But the Chiefs still found a way to overcome that obstacle and win the game. So I mean, the game can change in so many directions, but like I wouldn't be like, oh, Zay Flowers, you cost us the game. Like, yeah, you guys might have scored, but that doesn't necessarily mean like you're gonna win the game. Like the Chiefs very well be like, all right, now the game's closer. Now we're gonna actually put a drive together and go score. Which besides that drive, the Ravens didn't show the ability to come close to scoring a touchdown. So, and that both of their touchdowns resulted in broken plays. So, I mean, Lamar made a special plays to Zay Flower in the first quarter. I'm like, okay, like you said, Lamar's on one. But like throughout the game, he like I don't like he's missing throws. We forgot about the strip sack. You holding on to the ball too long. The play where you're trying to get it to Bateman, but there's still an internal clock. Every quarterback wishes they could wait. Like that happens to every quarterback. It's unfortunate for him, but like again, you lost the ball. Again, and a testament to the Ravens defense, they didn't even let him score that drive. They went for it on 4th and 2, which is another topic we have to talk about later. They went for it on 4th and 1, and they got stuffed. And they could have took a 21-7 lead or 17-7 lead, but they came out with 0. And the defense kept you in the game and kept you in the game and kept you in the game. And I can understand pressing a bit. Like I can understand you got the GOAT on the other side. You got Patrick Mahomes on the other side. Like it feels like at any moment he gonna respond or he gonna have that drive to put you away. But your defense shut them down. And you could not get your team over the hump. And like you said, man, Todd Monken quite literally put the game in Lamar's hands. If this is any other quarterback, see, this is my problem, man. Last week we were crucifying Josh Allen because Josh Allen made the right read to Shakir and had Chris Jones basically push Deion Dawkins into his lap and mess up his throw for a touchdown. But motherfuckers were saying that was the wrong read. He should have threw it to Stephon Diggs, made it easier for a possible field goal or to get the first down and waste more clock. Listen, touchdowns aren't guaranteed. If it's there, it's there. Your defense, they get paid to make stops too. I understand it's Patrick Mahomes and he can drive down the field, but Patrick Mahomes still has to drive down the field and score a touchdown. Like if that's how you lose, that's just how you lose. Like, I mean, Josh Allen balled out and he was called overrated. He can't go over the hump. Like, but I mean, I feel like that's just a testament to Patrick Mahomes. Like, there's one game Patrick Mahomes blew him out. There's the last game that we all saw where I thought both quarterbacks played great. And then there's the fucking 11-second game where there's no way my defense should give up a field goal in 11 seconds of game time. But, I mean, that's neither here or there. But Lamar has beat Ryan Tannehill, and he's beat a rookie C.J. Stroud in which the Houston's offense didn't even score that game. And he's never beat a team that scored more than 13 points. I don't know where I am right now. Obviously, I want to say I think Lamar is a great quarterback. He's a top 5 talent in the league, one of the best football players I've ever seen. But he's 2-4 in the playoffs. He's accounted for 9 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. If you're just looking at passing, he has in 6 games, he's thrown 6 passing touchdowns and 6 interceptions. His quarterback rating is 75. And we're crucifying a guy in Josh Allen. Every year we crucify this guy, Josh Allen, saying he's overrated. Josh Allen has 21 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in 10 playoff games.
Jeez.
Like, and with 100 passer rating. Like, I'm not seeing it. You got Dak Prescott. We were just saying the same shit about him, like you said. He went up against Jordan Love, and he was not. I mean, he has amazing stats. Yeah, he had amazing stats at the end of the game, but like the run game, like the game got out of hand, so you couldn't run the ball anymore. Now it's in your hands, and Dak quite literally put the nail in the coffin when he tried to force it to CD and it got picked off for pick 6 and the game felt like it was over after that point. Like, you gotta, like, if it just so happens to be a day where you gotta respond with the other quarterback, that's what you gotta do. And Dak Prescott couldn't do that. Brock Purdy, he could have shit the bed 2 weeks in a row. He could have shit the bed 2 weeks in a row, and he came back. So I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know where I am with Lamar.
I
He
feel
didn't
like
really legs.
I feel like we're at a point where people are getting something confused. Lamar Jackson is a top 5 talent in the league, football talent. When it comes to, listen, drop back in that pocket and put us on your back, he's not top 5 there. He's top 5, especially with like a lead or something. Oh, he is. If they got the lead, you might as well forget about it because he could do so much. But if they're down, I'm not sure if I want Lamar Jackson to be my quarterback first. Well, obviously not first. We're picking Mahomes. But second, I don't know if I want Lamar Jackson to be my quarterback second if I'm down because his skill set just changes. And I'm not sure why because you can still run the ball. But it's like when he gets down or things start feeling nervous, and I told you the same thing about my boy Dak, he gets that look in his eyes. When he starts throwing that helmet. When Lamar starts throwing that helmet, it's the same as when Dak gets that wide googly eye in that look, man. It's the same thing. It's dangerous. When Lamar throw that helmet, it's dangerous. And when Dak get them wide eyes, it's dangerous. They lose. I know they'll never come out and say this, but it just feels like they lose confidence in themselves. And the quarterbacks I'm watching, and including Jared Goff, Josh Allen, Brock Purdy, Patrick Mahomes, Burrow's hurt this year, but Joe Burrow, when things go wrong for them, they look calm, cool, and collected. And I just don't see that trait with the Daks, the Lamars, even though Lamar is, don't get me wrong, Lamar is better than Dak Prescott. But I feel like they have the same dynamic in that example where it's like, damn, things are going wrong and this might get ugly soon. And now they're just pressing the issue. I feel like the guys like I just named, they don't press the issue. Josh Allen does sometimes. But the rest of those guys don't really press the issue as hard, and it's just something you're born with, man. That's who they are at heart. And
You know, I don't really see, like, in the games that I maybe besides his first game against Deshaun Watson when they played the Texans in his first playoff game, I don't really see Josh Allen press the issue in playoff games. Like,
well, no,
he's
I just
not,
mean games in general.
yeah. Games in general, I understand, but like I'm just specifically talking the playoffs here. I don't really see him press the issue. I mean, people always try to give. I feel like Lamar. I don't know. I don't want to like I said, man. I'm a Lamar fan, but I just want to keep it a beam. Like Lamar, he's so loved, and then also like so like scrutinized. It can go back and forth because it's like Lamar doesn't get his credit with certain things. Like certain things, Lamar does not get his credit, and I'm with that. Like I'm like yes, like they don't critique other quarterbacks sometimes as much as they do Lamar. But Lamar, you're a 2-time MVP now. 2-time first team All Pro, obviously. You got better accolades than these other quarterbacks. And people are always like, oh, well, he does more of his team. Well, he had the number 1 offense when he played against the Titans, and they shut them down. This year, they had damn near the best defense. This is the best defense Lamar's played with. And this year, people were saying, oh, like the weapons are there. They got the number 1 running game. And Lamar's part of that. Lamar wasn't taking off of his feet. OBJ was saying, like, yo, the whole game is different when you take off your feet. And like he still ain't do it. It was like my boy Quack said in the group chat, he was like, bro, stop trying to play like Mahomes and play like Lamar. Like,
exactly.
Like play like Lamar. You don't have to. It's like people get into games with Mahomes and try to match. Like you're not gonna match Mahomes, bro. You need to play like yourself. Like play within yourself. I feel like Josh was doing that last week when he ran for 100 and whatever yards. Why are you not escape? They don't even have their QB spy. Like there were lanes to run around or like whatever, like to evade and get out, but it was like he was trying to be a pocket passer. And I was like, you're Lamar Action Jackson, bro. Like, get out, get a couple of yards, get 5, 3, 4, 5 yards, make it easier on third down for yourself. Like, he wasn't doing that. And then like the game, even with the Zay Flowers fumble, they came back down the field after the broken play and then the penalty and whatever. The game is still in hand. Dude, you throw into triple coverage and the Ravens fans talking about some pass interference, bro. If the situation's reverse and there's 3 receivers in that area, do you think they're calling OPI?
Yeah.
Like no, bro. I'm not hearing pass interference. That's a terrible throw. I'm not sure what he was looking at. That was one of the most egregious mistakes I've ever seen a top 5 quarterback make in my life. Like, at no point was that open. There was 3 Chiefs in the area, Kai. There was 3 Chiefs in the area. Why did he throw that? And then after that point, obviously you got the slamming of the helmet, and the game is essentially over because, yeah, you might be able to score again, but one of these drives, Mahomes is going to put it away. And that's what he did on the last drive.
Yeah, and to your point of him need to play more like Lamar than Mahomes, even Mahomes toned it down. He wasn't out there just throwing it crazy, cross body, no look, sidearm. Mahomes played one of the most like game manager games I've seen him play in a long time. He forced nothing. Nothing. What was it? 30 completions for under 300 yards, right?
He had 30 completions, but yeah, it was under 250, really.
That's what I'm saying. That's not the Mahomes we know. 30 completions from Mahomes is going to be about 425. He was like, I'm going to win this game. I don't need it to be flashy. I don't need it to be. And so if the greatest, in my opinion, the person who's going to retire the greatest ever at quarterback can tone it down just to win the game, or change his style, I should say, to win the game, Lamar, like, come on, you got to take some notes, man. Like, you don't, bro, why are you throwing from the pocket like this? Like, and people keep saying, and this is one thing I will say about Tom Montgomery. I think he thought what I think. I'm not going to call all of these running plays for these guys. I'm going to let my all-time playmaker make these passing plays into running plays. So Kansas City can't just load up on these runs. And you know what I'm saying? We're going to run out of passing plays. I think he expected him to scramble more than 6 or 7 times, to be honest, or whatever it was. I think he expected him to run out of a lot of these passing plays instead of forcing passes when nothing's there and you got the lane, go. Because I saw another quarterback do that this weekend, and it worked out perfectly. So
my other thing is, like, you're a 2-time MVP. I'm sure he has a lot of responsibilities in the office. You can't check to a running play?
Audible, right?
Yeah. You can't. I mean, maybe I'm like, I'm saying I didn't play football at this high level, but like, I'm thinking that the quarterback can check. I feel like we said the same thing about Jalen Hurts a couple of weeks ago. Like, you can't check to a better play. Like, you can't change the protection to help you out when they're zero blitzing you the entire game. I just find it hard to believe that, you know what I'm saying, you are a first team all-pro type player and you don't have no responsibilities in changing the plays to what you see works best on the field. So, and yeah, I just feel like this is a choke job. The Ravens choked this game, not the defense. The defense played lights out.
Shout out to Hamilton, Patrick Queen, them boys. Hey,
0 points. Mahomes scored 0 points. Burrow, Allen, and all them boys wish Mahomes would score 0 points in an entire half against them.
I think that's the first time he's done that in the playoffs.
Like 0, Gliz, 0. We scored the same amount of points as Mahomes in the second half, and the Ravens gave us 3 points. It's a choke, bro. All the penalties, hitting Mahomes in the helmet, like being undisciplined, letting the Chiefs get to your head, like they baited them and they kept falling for it. And I don't know. If I'm a Baltimore fan, obviously the future is bright as long as you have Lamar, but it's like, damn, there's got to be a sense of like, this might have been like our best chance for, I don't want to say for a while, but it's like the AFC is going to get better. Like eventually Justin Herbert's going to have a run. Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson, I expect them to figure it out. CJ Stroud's coming.
Joe Burrow's coming back.
Shane Steichen, the Colts, if they get a defense, they can look a little scary.
Just their division. Their division is coming. I mean, like, you got the Steelers. The Steelers made the playoffs through all of that. The Steelers made the playoffs.
The Steelers are really a quarterback away.
Like, the Dolphins, they're a couple tough guys away. Like, bro, the Dolphins the Dolphins are trenches away. Like, hey,
Josh Allen's still in Buffalo.
Stephon said he's not going nowhere. Like, bro, it ain't no 4-year window. I'll tell you that much.
I'm about to say, if Sean Payton can get the Broncos going,
you feel me?
It's
gonna be tough.
Oh, I forgot Deshaun Watson and their good defense. I don't want to say it was elite because every time I saw him play a good quarterback, they got lit up. But the Browns are still around, and Deshaun Watson has shown that he can win football games.
That's what I'm saying. In that AFC North, you're going to have to win that division or you're going to be on the road. And going on the road in the AFC, going to Kansas City, going to Buffalo, this is not what you want to do.
I don't know how many injuries we're going to have at top quarterbacks next year. So it's just like, I don't know, man. Do you think that they missed their window? What do you think about the Ravens' future?
I don't think they missed the window. I just don't think it's as wide as people think. 4 years?
Yeah, that's a little.
The only team who had that window is the Chiefs, and they had the greatest quarterback in the NFL. Like, their 4-year window is crazy. People thought the same thing about the Eagles. They took, 4 years to go back? 5 years to go back? Like, bro, no. It does not work like that. They went back last year, this year, first round exit. And people were saying, yeah, they lost, but they'll be back. No, they won't. It's not that easy, bro. You lose coordinators. Players get hurt. Players get in their feelings. Players change their play styles. Like, bro, it happens, man. It happens. It's not that easy.
Yeah, man. That's tough. But man, I've been waiting. This is why I really wanted to pod, man. This is why I really wanted to pod. I'm saying there's been this special guy, man, that I've been defending for about, I think it's about a year now, about a year and some change now.
You have.
My boy Brock Purdy, man, they were down 21-7, 24-7 was the most. And they come back to win this game 34-31. I'm gonna let you go first before I go into my spiel.
Yeah, we know you got to give you a 15-minute window on this one. All right, man. People know, I hated on Purdy, hated on the Niners, mostly because I'm a Cowboys fan, which everyone knows by now. Look, man, it's time to admit it. It is absolutely time to admit it. Brock Purdy is a franchise quarterback. Brock Purdy is that guy. Brock Purdy is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFC. And let alone, it's pretty much one of the best in the NFL. He's not your typical superstar quarterback. But he reminds me of a couple guys, man, who know how to win. He reminds me of the Eli's. He reminds me just those type of guys who everybody goes, he doesn't have the intangibles. He doesn't throw like Brady. He doesn't throw like a guy like Mahomes. He doesn't run like a Lamar. But when it comes down to winning, how many people beat Tom Brady, James? You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, man, I'm ready to admit it, man. Brock Purdy's that guy, bro. People have been hating on him. I watched Brock Purdy go down 24-7. I watched it with my own eyes all 60 minutes. He put the team on his back, and people are going to say the turnovers, Debo catching the ball, running for 30, 40, 50 yards. Listen, man, if that's what you're telling me, you didn't watch the entire game. Because every key play in that second half, Purdy made something happen with either his legs, and people get it confused. Like, it has to be 3rd and 18 for it to be a big throw. I've seen 2nd and 11s, 2nd and 13s, where Purdy is hitting Ayuk. He's hitting Kittle. He was throwing the fucking ball to the fullback. Like, listen, bro. It's time to admit it. Purdy, I'm on the Purdy train. I'm sorry. Hey, Dallas Nation, I'm sorry, man. Hey, I'm sorry, man. I'm on the Purdy train, man. I like Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy is touching that elite status. I haven't seen a quarterback in 2 years do what he's done in the playoffs. If his entire team, including him, wasn't hurt last year, I believe they go to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row anyway. Yeah, the slander's unwarranted. He's done every single thing. I just seen a stat. He beat every single playoff team this year. Every last one of them. I mean, or maybe it's the NFC playoffs. But yeah, he beat every last one of them. Like, what more can you say? They made the Cowboys look silly regular season. They came back on Detroit. Came back in the first round against, who was that?
Packers.
The Packers. Came back against the Packers. This is what I'm talking about here. I'm not talking about running for 100, throwing for 200, 4 touchdowns. I'm talking about when it's time to win and the pressure gets heavy. Can you will your team to victory? He has that trait, and it's a rare trait. These quarterbacks don't have it. The guys that we want to call elite don't have it. Dak doesn't have it. Lamar doesn't have it. Jalen Hurts does not have it. So I'm really going to give the floor to you on this one, because you've been caping for this guy for 2 months. I haven't. This week finally put me over the edge, and I'm ready to put respect on his name. I'm not slandering Brock Purdy any longer. It's still fuck the 49ers, by the way. Let's get one thing completely true. It's fuck George Kittle. It's fuck Debo. It's fuck Ayuk. It's fuck McCaffrey. But Brock Purdy, you have my respect. You're a hell of a quarterback. And I'd rather have you than everybody I just named. And I'm so serious.
Damn.
Besides Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, I feel like I might be missing one more, but
you can still put Lamar, bro. It was a bad game, bro.
No. See, don't get me wrong. I'd rather have Brock Purdy. I'd rather have Brock Purdy. I want the guy who I know will not crumble.
Oh,
regular season, give me Lamar Jackson. When it comes down to those 2 or 3 playoff games, give me Brock Purdy. I'm on the record.
You ever see like you try to like convert someone to something, and then all of a sudden they go full send into it. That's what I feel like you did. Like I just wanted to convert you into a Brock Purdy. This is full send. Like, this might be a little too much. That's at the point where it's like almost terrorism what you do.
Look, give me Lamar as my franchise guy. 16 games, 17 games a year. Don't get me wrong. If I need to get to the playoff, if I need a good record going into the playoffs, give me Lamar. If we're lining up across from each other on Sunday in February, or at the end of January, give me Brock Purdy. I've seen enough. Show me the numbers.
All right, man. My boy Brock Purdy. He was 20 of 31, 267 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He also ran for, I think this is the biggest part of the game. He ran for 5. He had 5 carries, obviously unscripted, 48 yards. So
every run mattered.
All right, before I really get into my Purdy bag, I have to say this. First of all, Purdy does something that, a lot of people want to use Purdy's weapons as the excuse. Oh, he's got Christian McCaffrey, he's got George Kittle, he's got Debo, he's got Kyle Shanahan calling the plays, he's got Brandon Ayuk. And Ayuk is a dog. He's got fucking Kyle Juszczyk, and then he's got Trent Williams. A lot of other quarterbacks got weapons. Justin Herbert has weapons. He's got Austin Eckler. He's got Mike Williams. He's got Keenan Allen. Like, Debo gets hurt just as much as Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. And Justin Herbert can't win games, let alone being up 27-0. To a degree, my boy Trevor Lawrence, I be caping for him, but he embarrassed me. He's got Christian Kirk. He's got Calvin Ridley. Evan Ingram is a solid tight end. Evan Ingram's a top 10 tight end to me. But and then he's got Travis Etienne, and he's got Doug Peterson calling the plays, and they're not in the playoffs. They were 8-3, and they folded. Who else got weapons? Now Josh Allen has James Cook, Stephon Diggs. Gabe Davis was hurt this year, but Shakir seems like a solid little piece. Dalton Kincaid. Lamar obviously had the top rushing game. Fucking all year with Zay Flowers in the defense too. Niggas can't win games. At a point, fucking Mahomes they were telling me that Mahomes would fall off because he had Tyreek Hill leave. He had all these other weapons in Travis Kelce, and obviously you have Andy Reid, the greatest playoff man, and then he always has like at least a top 7 offensive line that can protect him. And it seems like Joe Burrow, we don't even have to mention his weapons with Jamar and everyone. But some quarterbacks just know how to win. And these other quarterbacks, you know what I'm saying, they have weapons, but we always want to say that Brock Purdy is the only one that benefits from having weapons. Brock Purdy wins games. He does what he's supposed to. Oh, Jalen Hurts has weapons. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, DeAndre Swift, fucking Dallas Goedert, the fucking best offensive line that you can ask for, maybe besides maybe the Lions. And you know what I'm saying? Jalen Hurts gets away with throwing up 50-50 balls to his receivers down the field, as you should, because they make 50-50 balls. Like, if you throw a 50-50 ball to A.J. Brown, it's more like a 80-20 ball. He's going to come down with it. Brock Purdy plays to the system. All quarterbacks play to the system. I mean, obviously, you got to do some out-of-structure stuff, but, like, the idea is you're going to play to the scheme, and then if I have to go above and beyond, that's what I'm going to do. And that's what Brock Purdy did. I don't know what else he has to do, Gliz. I don't know. If this game doesn't I don't know what else he has to do. They're down 24-7. He found a way to win. Last week, he played terrible. Yes, does Brock Purdy have turnover really plays? Everyone fucking does. I'm not saying he's the best quarterback I ever seen. Obviously, that's Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, I feel like Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, Lamar, they all have better skill. But Brock Purdy knows how to fucking execute. He knows his deficiencies, and he knows his strengths. He gets the ball out quick to his receivers, and they make plays. That's why they're there, right? The playmakers on your team are on the team for a reason. Get the fucking ball into their hands. I've never seen it where a quarterback does what he's supposed to do, and it's a bad thing. You're supposed to win fucking the game. You're supposed to win games, not put up amazing stats. But mind you, he does that too. Now, does he benefit from Yak? Yes, but so do other quarterbacks. My boy Jared Goff benefits from a shit ton of Yak. I forgot who led the league in Yak, but when we were having this conversation at the time, the Kansas City Chiefs led the league in Yak. Is Patrick Mahomes a Yak merchant? No, we don't say that. So I just don't understand when Brock Purdy comes out, he does this thing, and still in this game, people were saying, well, Brock Purdy, you know what I'm saying? He came back, but like, it's the weapons, bro. Like, or Dan Campbell, like, threw away the game, or no, Brock Purdy was down 24-7 and did shit that some of your favorite quarterbacks can't do. He came back in the biggest game of the year, a game he didn't get to play last year. From what I've seen, Brock Purdy starts a playoff game, Brock Purdy wins the playoff game. If he starts and finishes it, he's going to win the game. That's all I've seen. The only game he's lost is when his elbow got shredded into shit. And obviously, who knows what happens that game. I mean, we got the rematch in Philly this year, and they beat the shit out of them.
Dog walked them.
Eagles. After they were telling us all year we were going to beat the shit out of them, and they came into Philly talking all that shit, and they backed it up. So I'm a firm believer by last year they probably do beat Philly last year. I mean, that's what we were saying anyways. So like you were saying, this could be the second time in a row that Brock Purdy is in the championship game, and he's doing the same thing. Now, I don't want to say he's doing the same thing Patrick Mahomes is doing. Don't get this out of wrong. But Patrick Mahomes also went to AFC Championship game, the first game he started, and then the Super Bowl the second year he started. No one was like, I'm not saying Brock Purdy has silenced all his haters, but like we need to give credit where credit's due. Like if Brock Purdy has a terrible game next week, it's like, damn, obviously the haters are gonna come back out. And there's gonna be haters no matter what, because he has all these weapons. They basically want him to have zero weapons and just like do it himself, like still have a great career, which I don't know. Like, there's not quarterbacks unless like Patrick Mahomes, obviously Lamar in the regular season, that come into situations where their weapons don't help them. That's why it's a fucking team game, bro. Like sometimes your boy's gonna bail you out, sometimes they're not. But like you said, man, Brock Purdy made a shit ton of plays with his legs. The fucking joint where he could have took a sack and he dimes.
Got out of there on the sideline. Like, come on.
If that was Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson, niggas would be like, oh my God, look at the play they made. They're so tough to bring down. But since it's Brock Purdy, the nigga dresses like a nerd.
And he doesn't talk. I think the big problem is his personality isn't one of those NFL superstar quarterback personalities. Like, he really reminds me of like an Eli Manning. He just shows up and plays football. Like, and at the time, looking back at it as a kid, I used to be like, Eli Manning sucks. Like, I don't know how the fuck he keeps winning against Brady. Like, why is he winning Super Bowls? But now I'm looking back at it, bro. He doesn't know how to win the game. He don't got to do all the extra stuff, you know. And I meant to say this. I hope no one gets this confused. I do not think Brock Purdy is a better talent than a lot of these, than the Josh Allens, the Lamars, the Herberts or anything. I don't think he's a better talent, but I think up here, he's better than all of them there. His confidence, his calmness, it's second to only maybe like guys like Mahomes, Burrow. You know what I'm saying? Like Brock Purdy, it's a special trait to have that I think people don't value enough. You can have the most talent in the world. There's people in basketball like this, most talent in the world, but when it comes down to the big pressure games, they feel the pressure. You can look at a player and tell a player that feels pressure and a player that this is just another play. This is football. I've been playing this my whole life. This is just a game. To me, when Brock Purdy plays, it looked like he's thinking this is just a game. I'm down 17. This is a game. I've done this my whole life. And people are going to crucify me. I already know I'm going to get crucified in the comments. But listen, you cannot tell me I'm wrong. When it comes down to a playoff game, you deep down inside want Brock Purdy to. Especially if this is a person with a team complaining who has weapons. If your team has weapons, Cowboy fans out there who are going to crucify me, you wouldn't want Purdy at quarterback with all them weapons? Who else are we talking about? Hurts, Eagles fans. You telling me tush push behind us, besides the tush push, you telling me you wouldn't want Brock Purdy starting these clutch playoff games? Like, come on, man. Let's be completely honest here. He's a winner, bro. Being a winner is a more important trait than you think. A lot of people are overvaluing this. Oh, he can run, and I'm not just talking Lamar. Like, they're overvaluing a guy being super special at one thing than being really good at a lot of things. Brock Purdy is really good at a lot of things. He's just not crazy special at one thing. And I have grown to realize that. And bro, he's a winner. That's the best ability I want you to have. Availability and winnability. He got hurt in one playoff game. Besides that, he's been available and he's been winning. I don't know what else more do you want. My Cowboy fans, Dak Prescott, he's missed the season damn near. And when it's time to win, he doesn't win. Guys like Hurts went to the Super Bowl, But when things became, oh, put it on your back, disappeared. I feel like guys like Purdy in hurt situation this year, especially, even if you lose all them games in a row, you go to fucking Tampa Bay with the best roster, with the clearly the better roster, the better everything, without AJ Brown at that. Because did Debo not go out last week?
Debo did go out. And,
tell me if I'm wrong. Did Debo go down last week?
He went out with the Packers, yeah.
And that was when they were down.
In the rain.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
In the rain.
In the rain. And he still got it done with the rest of those weapons. And people tell me, oh, Debo wasn't out there. Debo had 24 yards, because you bet that 25, right? So I'm not about to keep hearing Debo's carrying him and Debo's. No, but Purdy is making these throws, and every last one of these throws is on the money. On the money. So please stop telling me these false narratives. I was the one spewing these false narratives too. So if I could come to the light, so can the rest of you. Now you can finish it, my brother. I'm going on mute.
The last thing I was gonna say is, they're gonna come in, and I gotta address this. They're gonna be like Brock Purdy got lucky with some of his throws. The helmet throw, and I guess to an extent the one with Juwan Jennings where he caught it with one hand. I feel like that was Purdy making a play, and then he lofted over to the fucking defensive end, and Juwan Jennings gets paid to make plays too, and so he made a play. But the Ayuk joint, I've seen fucking Lamar got the same lucky play if you want to think about it. He got his pass batted up into the air, and then he caught his own pass for a 13-yard gain. Lucky plays fucking happen. Like lucky plays happen for the defense. Like maybe next time, maybe in the Super Bowl, them same passes that he's making towards Ayuk get picked off, and we're like, we have a whole different outlook. I like, damn, he kind of forced that one, but like lucky plays happens is a part of the game, bro. I'm not trying to hear that. When there was a big play, every big play in the second half that had to be made for the 49ers offense, besides the fumble and the defense tightening up and the 4th and 2 play, which we're about to get into. Every big play in the second half that had to happen for the offense, Brock Purdy made something happen. Whether he moved around the pocket or made a good throw, Brock Purdy made it happen. He had 5 rushes. I feel like all fucking 5 rushes happened in the second half where he ran for 48 yards. And those are backbreakers for the Lions because it's like, oh, damn, we weren't accounting for this. And he's running all over the field, making it second and manageable or third and manageable or getting a first down instead of it being 2nd and 13 like you were saying. Like, I ain't got too much to say, man. Brock Purdy, he's going to the Super Bowl. I'm not hearing no Brock Purdy slander until after the Super Bowl. When we can revisit this after the Super Bowl, but until the Super Bowl, bro, no Brock Purdy slander. I don't care. My boy's in the Super Bowl. He was in the NFC Championship game last year, and then he proved what probably would have happened if he would have stayed healthy in the NFC Championship game last year. They probably would be on their 2nd Super Bowl facing the same team that they're facing this year. So we're going to move on to the Lions. Great season, up 24-7. Huge collapse. A lot of people are blaming Dan Campbell for this loss. The floor is yours.
Well, I mean, you can't not blame him. He has to take some of the blame. I mean, you're just leaving points on the board the entire game. But I understand now on the flip side, he's been playing like that. He's been calling plays and coaching like that the entire year. So he's been aggressive the entire year. But you're just leaving points on the board. And I am not a fan of that. I hate it. I hate that the NFL is going towards that. I don't know if it's an analytic thing or what. I hate when you have a clearly manageable field goal and 4th and inches, 4th and 1. I'm like, okay. 4th and 2.5, 4th and 3 in the big games with actual magnitude. I just don't understand it because every single point matters. You don't know what can happen. But so yes, I do think Dan Campbell deserves to blame. I don't think anyone should be blaming Jared Goff at all. I haven't heard much of it, but just wanted to make that clear. Because, Jared Goff is usually the butt of the jokes in these situations. This is not on Jared Goff. fucking Reynolds. Let's start there. Josh Reynolds.
Joshua Reynolds.
I don't ever want to shit on a player because of one bad game. But, dude, I understand a couple contested drops. You're just fucking dropping what? Practice. I'm talking about warm-ups. When y'all are warming up on your side of the field and you're just playing catch with your fucking quarterback. Like, that is 100% nerves. And obviously, I mean, there's going to be nerves. They've never even been hearing who knows how long. I know Super Bowl has never happened. So how long has it been since the NFC Championship?
1957.
Yeah, like, I understand there was a lot of nervousness, but I mean, dude, you right there. Those 2 catches or 3 catches he dropped, they win that game because these keep the drives going, and they're going to get at least 3. I mean, barring this motherfucker doesn't go for it more and give it up on downs. But if he catches those couple of passes, they win the game. So I have to put a lot of the blame on Josh Reynolds. As bad as I don't want to do that, because he's a good player. Like he's a young dude. He does what he has to do. He's not a bum. I don't think he's a bum at all. I just think he had the worst luck and was nervous and heard those footsteps and some more stuff. So I put a lot of the blame on Josh Reynolds. A lot of the blame on Dan Campbell because you're just leaving points on the board. And those 2 things mixed together, leaving points on the board and dropping key passes, that's a formula. And then who fumbled? Which running back was it?
Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs. Another young boy. And that's why it's like you can't. And like I said earlier, the windows aren't open for a long time because I so badly want to be like, they're going to learn from this. Like, this is not going to happen again. They're going to be back. But it's so hard, bro. Like, you see it. They have a division full of guys that's on the way. The Bears, I know the Bears are trash, but the Bears, they keep getting these picks. They're not going to be trash for that much longer. Like, their window's going to open up just like the Lions' window opened up. The Packers are already here. The Packers shows you we here. You know what I'm saying? And that's just their division. Like, bro, it's not easy. And like, as badly as I don't want to like, just shit on the young guys, these are the times where you got to make these plays happen. The regular season is for the nerves. Like, so I blame Gibbs, I blame Campbell, I blame Reynolds. And surprisingly, if you would have told me the Lions lost a game where they were up 24-7 and I didn't watch it, I would 100% be like, what the fuck did Goff do? What did he do? What was he doing? He was throwing pick after pick in the second half, wasn't he? He was fumbling. He was missing open passes, wasn't he? Overthrowing guys. Bro, he did everything right. I could tell you he missed one throw, one deep pass that could have blew the game open. But that, like, those happen. Like, the pass he missed happens. It wasn't like, no, you missed a wide open guy. My guy had a step, he missed him. Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, and I can't even say the defense because they kept giving them a short field. And besides the scrambles with Purdy, but I mean that just happens. We break contain. That just happens in football. I mean, missing the sack where he got out of, you gotta make that sack. Yeah, that's an all-time blunder, dude. Like, that's an all-time blunder. But it's such a weird way that it happened because it wasn't like, because usually it's like the quarterback starts tricking it or the defense just starts getting completely fried. Like, it was just everything that could have went wrong for them in the second half went wrong. Like, literally. And I even blame the atmosphere in the building because the rappers and shit, Eminem and them sticking middle finger, bro, chill. You've never seen your team here, bro. You need to be humble to the end. And I feel like all of that just rubbed off on them in the locker room. Like, I feel like the score I feel that was the worst possible thing for them to be up that much at half. If they were up 10 at half or even 7, I feel like they would have been, we got to finish it. I think they thought the Niners were defeated and deflated and thought like, bro, no, this is a championship pedigree team. They haven't gone to the Super Bowl over and over. But a lot of these players on the team have been to the NFC Championship a couple times. Like, bro, they're not seeing something they've never seen before. So, and that's the difference, obviously. The Lions have literally no one on the roster. I mean, unless somebody was traded or signed in offseason. I'm not going to do all that. Like, they have no one on the roster with that type of experience and feeling for the playoffs, for the NFC Championship, Super Bowl. So, like, I feel like they took their foot off the gas and just made so many mental errors. Because Jahmyr Gibbs is an Alabama guy, right? Yeah, so he comes from discipline, that kind of culture. Like, fumbling right there is just insane. Like, can't do that. But the blame goes all around. I'm happy my boy Golf isn't the person that everybody putting the blame on for once. It was a young team mistake type of game. They were up. Nobody expected that to happen anyway. For them to be up by that much, let alone blow them out. They'll be back in the playoffs. It's just to say a team, for me, saying a team besides the team who has the best quarterbacks, like the best or the second best quarterback, to say that team, oh, they'll be back. I just feel like that's always like blasphemy, bro, because it very rarely happens that way. The Niners, yes, and the Chiefs, yes, but those are just anomalies because one has the best quarterback in the league and one just has a ridiculous amount of weapons on both sides of the ball. And the Lions just don't have that. They don't have the weapons to match mistakes. The Niners can make mistakes because they're going to get a turnover. Like, their worst fucking player on defense is Chase Young. Like, come on. Like, that is crazy. But, yeah, man. Hey, it is what it is. They'll be back one day. But this was their chance, just like I said about the Ravens. That was your chance right there, bro. And
yeah,
you blew it. But Dan Campbell, pie chart, last thing, pie chart. 75% Dan Campbell. Okay. No, 85% Dan Campbell.
Okay.
I'm going 5% for my boy Gibbs on that fumble because where it happened, not because he fumbled, where it happened. He fumbled on inside of their 30 or 40, right?
Yeah.
So 5% on him, and the other 10% I will give to the defense because you could at least force them into a couple field goals. I mean, goddamn, like, come on, give me one stop. Let my boy get a chance. But
you've got your Reynolds.
Oh, wait a minute. Scratch the pie chart. 50% Campbell, 40% Reynolds, 5% Gibbs, 5% defense.
Okay. All right. So I don't want to do this, right? All right. I don't want to do this. You know what I'm saying? I was defending this man in some chat, so I'm gonna keep that same energy. Dan Campbell did what he normally does. He does what he normally does. My problem with people coming back at Dan Campbell talking about he blew the game, blah, blah, blah. First of all, one, Bagley, not the greatest kicker. 45-yarder. I'm not saying that he shouldn't make it. Yes, he should have made the field. Like, he should make the field goal. I expect him to make the field goal. There's no guarantee that the field goal goes in, just like there's no guarantee to get the 4th and 2nd. My problem with this is the play fucking worked. The play worked. Josh Reynolds dropped the ball. Period. True. Players, when we talk about players get played to make plays. Like, when we talk about Belichick and Brady and who deserves more credit, people say Brady, right? Because he's the fucking player. He's the one out there on the field. You can draw all the schemes, you can make people open and whatnot, just like Kyle Shanahan and Trey Lance. If you can't execute the scheme, you can't be on the field. You can't play. Like, there's nothing I can do if my players can't execute my scheme. I could call the greatest game in the world, but if motherfuckers is dropping passes or missing wide open throws, then there's not much I can do as a coach. That's why players get paid the big bucks, and that's why we're out there. Mahomes, they executed when it was time to execute. Like Purdy executed, the 49ers executed when it was time to execute. The Lions didn't, bro. And Reynolds is a big reason why. You drop the ball on 4th and 2nd. I'm not saying they go on to win the game if they catch the ball, but it's like, damn, they just can't stop him. It wasn't like the 49ers ever, like, people are like, oh, they should have stuck to the run game. First of all, they were moving the ball regardless down the field, no matter what, in the second half. It just so happened that they were just getting stopped, like, or Gibbs fumbled. But besides that, they scored on the other possession and on the last possession. And then you had the two fourth down plays. The second one, I probably would have been like, kick the field goal to tie the game. But I understood it's Dan Campbell. That's what he does. I'm not going to get mad at Dan Campbell for doing what Dan Campbell and the Lions do. That's literally their brand of football. Don't, just like we were saying for the Ravens, everyone's talking about they should have ran the ball, right? They should have ran the ball more. And now motherfuckers are mad because they switched up their style of play in the biggest game of the year and just let Lamar sit back and throw the ball. Don't change your energy game by game, bro. Like, the Lions did exactly what they did to get here. If they didn't do that to get here, they would never even be here in the first place. So I'm pretty sure all the players knew what was coming. They were going to go for it. That's the type of team they are. And I can understand, you got to change your what's it called just for certain situations. But, like, the 49ers are still a prolific offense. They can still come back and win the game regardless if you kick the field goal. Just because it's 27-10 doesn't mean this doesn't mean the 49ers are like, damn, we just can't stop these guys. But I'm pretty sure, I don't want to say I'm pretty sure, but if they would have kicked the field goal, let's say they just kicked the field goals, right? Let's say they get 30 points. And the 40 and then you still have Gibbs fumble, and the 49ers still scored 34 points. Are we getting mad at Dan Campbell because he didn't go for it on fourth down to put the game away? That's what I'm saying, bro. And he even went for it on 4th and goal to fucking make it a 3-point game. And they almost probably, like, if they would have waited a yard or two more, they could have got the onside kick and then kicked the field goal, try to kick a field goal again. But Bagley this is his 4th game of the season. They already got rid of their old kicker. And Bagley is not great from 50 yards out. He's not. He's like 8 of 16. So it's not like you got Harrison Butker back there or Jake Elliott or Justin Tucker. Clearly Tyler Bass showed you that no field goal is guaranteed. Because Butker hit the same field goal that Tyler Bass missed. And that's why, there's like I was saying last week, there's levels to being a top kicker in the league. But Jake Moody, he had an easy field goal early in the game. Brock Purdy got them down to the 20-yard line, and he just wide rights it. So I'm not here for kick the field goal. Like, the field goal is not guaranteed to go in. 2, the play worked. Josh Reynolds shit the bed twice. And it just seemed like everything, like you were saying, anything that could go wrong for the Lions in that third quarter did go wrong for the Lions in that third quarter. I don't want to say I don't want to give no blame to Dan Campbell, but, like, I don't feel any blame for him. Like, that's just my personal opinion. Like, they played Lions style football. When I saw 4-2, I thought they were going for it. Like, that's what they played. And the play worked. They could not stop them. The people that stopped the Lions were the Lions. The Lions.
That's correct.
And then Brock Purdy and the 49ers did what a championship team does. They capitalized on the mistakes, and they came back and won. It could have very well been that Brock Purdy doesn't capitalize on the mistakes, and then that's another thing about my boy Brock. But they couldn't capitalize on the mistakes, and then we wouldn't even be here talking about it. It would have been like, oh, they didn't get the 4th and 2nd, and then let's say Brock Purdy throws an interception, or like the defense fucking makes a play, they get that sack, make it 3rd and 2nd, and then they get a 3 and out. Then we're not even talking about that 4th and 2nd play. And the Lions are still in the same position. They're up 24-10 at the time. So the defense knows the philosophy. The offense knows the philosophy. Everyone, they've been on the same team. I'm not here for what got you. That's what got them there. Being aggressive, being that type of team. I'm not changing up in the biggest play of the game. And then I feel like if you're saying that and then you're complaining about the Ravens not running the ball, I feel like you're kind of just being a hypocrite, bro. But so it is what it is. Yeah. But you got anything else to say for NFC Championship? We've been talking for an hour, 30 minutes on both games.
Yeah, that was actually some good work right there, bro. I'm sitting here getting hot, nigga. I didn't want to take off the outfit, but nah, bro. Feel like we hit everything on the head. But I do agree with you. I actually kind of want to change my stance on the Dan Campbell thing. But I do understand what people say, though. Like, yeah, it got you there, but now these are when I go home games.
I feel that.
So it's a thin line. I feel like once it started to get, once you're up, I feel like take the points. Like once you're up so much, just take the points. Keep taking the points because you don't know what can happen. But I do agree. I mean, that's what got you there. But I do also agree with the people that are saying, yeah, that got us there, nigga. But if we lose, we're not coming back next week. It's not week 9 when you're going for it, and we play week 10. You know what I'm saying? So I feel both sides. But I feel like we hit everything on the head, man. I feel like we hit everything.
Once again, man, if y'all made it this far, man, please like, comment, subscribe, follow the social medias. We got Gliz to my right here. Is it my right on the screen or is it my left? It's my right.
I'm on the other side, guys. Sorry.
He's on the other side. And then your boy Jaimito. Y'all can follow us on our socials. Obviously, follow the AKT.Podcast page. Yeah, make sure you like the video and subscribe. That's it for us. We'll probably be here for an NBA pod soon. Very soon. We got some shit to talk about. Because just know we got some shit to talk about. But just last shout outs, man. Shout out Sabrina. She about to beat Steph in the 3-point contest. Any shout outs you want? Any shout outs you want to give out before we get off?
I'ma just, not gonna say too much. Shout out my boy Wemby. That's all I want to say. Shout out my boy Wemby. It's Wemby season, baby.
All right, man. We out.